serve as your host for this session. Okay, so as you can see, the session is being recorded, so you're free to leave your camera off and your mics off as well. Throughout the session in this webinar, we will dive into the dynamic world of procurement readiness, empowering women-owned businesses for inclusive sourcing. Our very distinguished guests will share strategies and speak and practices and all the strategies that you need to navigate procurement and make your business a success. We encourage active participation, so please feel free to pause your questions on the chat and interact as much as possible, because we will take the time to answer all of them or as many as we can. Thank you very much. Michelle.
Hi everyone, my name is Michelle. I'm the Programs Coordinator Kenya for Connect International. We're going to go through a couple of house rules. So I'll take you through them. Number one, please keep your microphones muted throughout the webinar to minimize background noise and disruptions. Number two, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to post them in the comment section. Our team will address them during designated Q&A session. So if you have a question, please don't unmute your mic and speak. You wait for the Q&A session. Number three, we encourage active participation. Use the chat function to engage with fellow attendees and share your insight. Number four, the webinar will be recorded for future reference. By participating, you consent to being recorded. Lastly, please respect the opinions and perspectives of fellow attendees and speakers. We strive to maintain a positive and inclusive environment for it. Thank you for your cooperation, and we hope you enjoy the webinar. Back to you, Jessica.
Thank you, Michelle. So those are our house rules. I'm sure we're all familiar with webinars and we know how to follow them. Next up, we have our speakers. As I mentioned before, those are two amazing women that have been making strides in their respective fields. We have Melissa Adams, Global Supplier Diversity for UPS, and Frida Winger, our Regional Director for Africa at We Connect International. I will start the introductions with Frida. Frida, so the mic is yours for the next 5 minutes. Please tell us about yourself.
Thank you very much, Jessica. Good evening from wherever you're watching from. And it's a real pleasure to host you this evening. And my name is Frida Owinga. I'm in Nairobi, Kenya. I serve at We Connect International as the Regional Director for Africa. I've been an entrepreneur for a long time. My first business I started when I was 18, and then I started fresh again in 2009. So I'm passionate about women-owned businesses because I am a woman-owned business, and I do everything I know to help them to succeed in their businesses. Today, I'm really excited to be in this fantastic webinar with our partners, UPS, because without partners, we cannot achieve what we need to do. And I'm going to allow Melissa Adams to introduce herself. Melissa, you're welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rita. It is such a pleasure to be here this evening with each and every one of you. I'm grateful that you're taking the time out. Rita will tell you I'm a firm believer in any moment that you're spending with any of us as corporations is time that you're spending away from working on your business. So I truly appreciate and value the time today. I'm Melissa Adams. I'm responsible for global supplier diversity here at UPS. I'm based in Atlanta, Georgia, in the United States. I'm so excited about today. My background is similar to Frida in that it's a little sordid about how I got here. I started out working in consulting services with organization. Back then it was known as Anderson Consulting. Now it's known to most as Accenture. It's a global entity that I'm sure some of you may have heard of as well. I then had a wonderful career in information technology, working on various forms of technology from mobile apps to actually gamification of insurance and some types of retail applications as well. From there, I learned quickly that I enjoyed the field of technology, and I ventured out and started my own consulting firm, and thus began my journey of being an entrepreneur. And I love working for myself. I love helping people solve problems, but quickly decided about 3 years in that I wanted to return back to the corporate sector. and continued my journey in corporate America. I've been with UPS for 5 years. And even here at UPS, I've had a few different roles. But in the last 2 years, I'm proud to say I am now responsible for global supplier diversity, where I am responsible for leading the company's supplier diversity strategies and initiatives and tactics. In addition to that, I'm also spending a number of hours also venturing into our sustainability space. So I am just so happy to be here. I'm excited about the conversation and the dialogue that we're about to have. And just want you all to know that our commitment to growing our business throughout the continent is truly top of mind for me. So I look forward to the conversation. And once again, I thank you all for joining us this evening.
Thank you
Thank
so
you very
much,
much,
Melissa.
Melissa.
That was Frida and Melissa. Thank you for this warm introduction. I think most of the questions that we got during this whole process of registrations, people wanted to know more about UPS, more about what is it, procurement opportunities, what are we talking about? And I'm sure the women in the room want to know more. So Melissa, I'll go straight to the burning questions and ask you, how does UPS approach the supplier diversity and inclusion within the procurement processes?
So that is a great question. And I'm so glad that we're starting with that one. At UPS, we find ourselves extremely committed to ensuring that our supply chain, so that's from beginning to end, from tier N all the way down to tier 2.
Someone has their mic on.
Yeah,
Please.
she got it. All the way through from tier N all the way through tier 2 suppliers, that it truly reflects the diversity of the communities in which we serve. So we are an international global company, and we want to make sure that as we are procuring items and looking at purchases, that we truly reflect those communities in which we serve. We actively reach out to small and diverse businesses on a regular basis. I am constantly on calls with businesses that are looking to do business with UPS and connecting them with our procurement professionals that are responsible for various purchasing options. In addition to that, we are a part of a number of partner agencies similar to We Connect that we enjoy having the opportunity to meet with small and diverse businesses. I mean, it's vast, the network that's available for us to gain entry into learning more about ways in which these companies can help us solve some of our most challenging problems. In addition to that, we have a long-standing partnership that I can't even think of the number of impacts. So we have a total number that we've done, but the ripples of what we know when we work with women, women change families, families change communities. But we have a great long-standing relationship with the International Trade Center with focus on she trades. And so that speaks to the import and export opportunities that are available for women-owned businesses. In addition to that, a number of our executives mentor small and diverse businesses. So if you are looking for a mentor or someone to help guide you through your process of owning a business or expanding or growing your business, we also have opportunities such as mentorships that are available as well. And then some people are always like, well, that's all sounds good. It sounds like you're working to it, but what policies do you all have in place to ensure that you're actually acting on those things? Well, here at UPS, we are required to have one small and one diverse business attached to each and every request for information or request for proposal that we offer to the community. So when you are looking at implementing a new project or starting a new initiative or purchasing a new item, every time that we send out a request for proposal, we are required to have one small and one diverse vendor that are a part of that process. And then we also, work with what we refer to as our prime customers. So those are the non-minority, really, really large corporations. And finally, I'll say that in partnership with them, we also hold them accountable to making sure that they meet some of the same policies and procedures that we have in place today. And we ask them to work with small and diverse businesses. So it doesn't just stop here at UPS. It continues down the entire supply chain that I mentioned at the beginning. We are truly focused on ways in which we can make sure that our supply chain reflects the communities in which we serve.
Thank you so much, Melissa. I feel like this answered a lot of questions, and I will ask the women in the room, please pause your questions on the chat and let's make sure we're still interacting and the doubts you had during the registration process can be answered now. Melissa's here. Frida, I'll go to you because I feel like what Melissa just said connects a bit with what I'm about to ask you. So can you share with us a bit of the mission and goals of Reconnect International regarding inclusive sourcing? Because I feel like that is tied.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Jessica. That is tied, and that's why we are here together. Reconnect International is committed to connecting women-owned businesses with multinational corporations and governments to foster inclusive sourcing practices globally. I'm in Africa, UPS is in America, but it's a logistics company that can help us globally. So a perfect partner for us. Our mission is to empower women entrepreneurs economically by providing them access to markets, to knowledge, and to networks. Our organization aims to do four things. The first thing is to identify women-owned businesses, women who own their businesses 51%. After we identify them, we train them. After we train them, we certify them. After we certify them, we connect them to corporate global markets. So we are saying training them is not enough. We need to ensure they are certified so that when the corporate sees them, they're almost pre-qualified and they get right in through the door. So that is our mission, Jessica. And our goal is to drive more money into the hands of women so that they can do the things they love and enjoy, take care of their families, wear pretty clothes, and take care of the communities. Back to you, Jessica.
Thank you, Frida. That was a good kicker there. When we talk about money, everyone pays attention. I'll go back to Melissa. Can you share some initiatives that UPS has implemented to support women-owned businesses in their supply chain? If you could mention a few of them, or ones that you plan to implement, that would be great for the women in the room.
Perfect. Great question. And Frida, you're so right. As I mentioned before, as we put money in the hands of women, we know that transforms families, and families transform communities, and as we transform communities, we transform the world. And our supplier diversity program, we truly prioritize cultural adaptation and sensitivity in every aspect of our operations. So I don't want to come into a space ever and think that I understand all of the cultural nuances and that we're all the same. So that's the first piece of it, is making sure that as we are approaching women-owned businesses, that we actually have done the research in the marketplace. And by partnering with organizations like We Connect, we're ensuring that we understand all of the differences that play a part in these programs and initiatives that UPS is planning to sponsor, that we're actively engaged in ways in which we can help people procure additional companies and opportunities. So we understand that these global initiatives require deep insight. So when we're thinking about things, we want to make sure that we're paying attention to the local customs, the norms, the business practices, and making sure that as we are, working with partners like We Connect, that these programs and initiatives that we're considering fall through, that they are in line and act in accordance with the needs of those individuals in those countries in which we're trying to service. We are truly investing significantly in cross-cultural training for not only our teams, but for those suppliers that we're looking to engage with as well. So Frida's going to share some additional information about some additional training that we're sponsoring here, but we want to make sure that we understand that we are fostering an environment that values diversity and inclusion, that all of these programs and ways in which we're engaging with the community, that we are making sure that they are part of the cross-cultural necessities of meeting the needs in the areas in which we are working. Some of the programs that we're leveraging through the help of the UPS Foundation, I have to give them a huge shout out. They are true partners in this work. We'll give them a round of applause. I can't really emphasize the collaboration that I have with those amazing partners who are also on this call today. LaCarrie and Peace, they have been amazing even through this process and making sure that I understand what it is to work with NGOs and nonprofit organizations that are international in nature. Through their collaboration, the UPS Foundation has committed over $12 million in grants to advance programs in supporting women, including organizations like I mentioned before, the ITC She Trades, Opportunity International, the Fearless Fund, India SME Forum, We Connect International, as well as the NMSDC Business Consortium Fund. So when you're talking about ways in which UPS is actually a part of programming and interacting, you see our network is vast. It doesn't just end with just We Connect. So when we bring you into our fold, we're looking at all of the services that we can offer. In addition, we have something also that's called the Women's Exporter Program. It was launched back in 2018. And since 2018, we've trained over 120,000 women owners and small business owners and connected them to the global economy. So when we're talking about, like, what does UPS really bring to the table? We're not only bringing this partnership with We Connect and looking at how we can help grow the businesses through We Connect, we also are bringing some additional resources that may be needed. We know we talked about things like you need additional funding, so that's where BCF comes into play. We need help with import and export. That's where She Trades come into play. So we're looking at harnessing our total collective power when we look at the programs that we're implementing and the ways in which we're working in this space and saying, hey, UPS is a global entity that we want you not only to know about, we want you to consider doing business with. And as you consider doing business with us, we want to be able to in turn also help you as a small or woman-owned business grow your business. And how can we provide the solutions that are necessary to help you be successful? Because in turn, that will also make us successful.
That is amazing. And one of the things before we move on, because I have so many questions for you, I'll try and keep them on a considerable number. Before we move on, I have a question for you, Frida, but before that, I would like to tie something here because we have women attending from Ghana, from Nigeria, from all sorts of industries. And we're not assuming that all of them are in a certain level. There are different levels of businesses in the room. And I would like to clarify, you guys, to clarify something before we move on. So, when we're talking about inclusive sourcing, when we're talking about procurement, what exactly are we talking about? And how can the women-owned businesses know that they are ready for this opportunity, that they are ready to be in a supply chain, that they are ready to provide the services that are being required of them? So that's for both of you. I'll start with Frida.
Thank you very much, Jessica. And because there are different women on the platform, different stages and seasons of their businesses, I'm going to keep it really simple. When we talk about inclusive sourcing, corporates have a spend towards buying their supplies, their products, everything they need to run their business. Now, when we talk about inclusive sourcing, we mean that a corporate wants to increase their spend by ensuring that part of that spend goes to women. And when Melissa was speaking earlier, she did mention the percentage they want to reach with women in their spend. So that means there's a portion that is set out for women. She did mention that there's a way they do it. Either they'll take, Melissa, could you help me go over that again? How you ensure that inclusive sourcing is happening at UPS? And then I'll come back and finish my answer. Yes.
Oh, perfect. So just to piggyback a little bit on what Frida shared, I will say for UPS, we are focused on making sure that we include there's at least one small and one diverse business included in each and every single request for proposal that we send out to the community. So when we are looking to source anything at UPS, there's a policy in place where we say, hello guys, this is important to us. And as an organization, with this being so important to us, we want to make sure that we tactfully go out and find and identify businesses that are part of our communities that can help provide those services that we're in need of. So when we're looking at sourcing things like janitorial services or construction management services, which are some things that we are actively searching for, we want to make sure that we are in those communities, identifying those businesses that already operate in that area. There's no need for us to go and extend to a supplier that's not in that space and ask them to operate in that space when we know that they are committed, dedicated, value-driven organizations that are already operating in that space that just also happen to be women-owned. So when we're looking at a supplier, we're saying, you know, hey, do you meet our values? Do you meet the quality that we need? Yes, yes, perfect. Now let's also check, oh, wow, and you're also women-owned. So those are the ways in which UPS is thinking through how we can engage our communities and ways in which we can operate and function as a procurement opportunity network. And then the other piece that I would say, when you're talking about sourcing opportunities, just in general, from a global standpoint, those are opportunities in which there is a problem, is what I usually refer to it as. There's a problem that's trying to be solved by an organization. So they're going to go out to the network and say, hey, we have this opportunity. Can you help us solve it? And it's up to each of the businesses to help us in that sourcing time to say, hey, we have a solution for you. Be it consulting services, staffing augmentation, call center services, janitorial services. The opportunities abound especially when you're talking about a global organization. And so when you're looking at what sourcing services are and what those things that are needed and necessary from a sourcing perspective, the sky's the limit. It could be almost anything. I meet with people that are selling everything from dog treats for our drivers to actual paint for our planes. So there is opportunity that exists for everyone.
Mhm. Thank you, Melissa.
No
Frida, would
problem.
you like to add to that?
Yes. So
Or
I can add to that because she's the one that is working with the suppliers. I'm providing the demand. So on the side of the women-owned business, the key thing we're looking at is, number one, you own a business. What is the percentage of your business that you own? You need to own 51% of your business. You need to be the one managing it and leading it. So that's how we identify. And we really self-identify because our portal is open. All you need to do is register. There's some questions you're going to answer. When you answer those questions and you qualify to go to the next stage, which is access opportunities from a corporate, then you will get an invitation to be certified. When you get the invitation to be certified, you'll go through a process that will ensure you that more doors open for you for procurement, because you're going to have an assessor look at all your know your customer documents. Like in Kenya, in Africa, mostly we have about 10 of them, and you're going to go through with the assessor all the 10 of them. Are you registered formally? Are you tax compliant? Do you have your audited accounts? And many times small business owners ask, why do I need to show my audited accounts? I'm small, I just started. And one of the things I let women know is, you may be small today, but you should have infrastructure that is going to help you to grow. So no matter how small you are, you need to be keeping your books. You need to be getting your accounts audited. If you're not good in numbers, you need to get somebody to look at those numbers, because when it comes to accessing corporate opportunities, you're going to need money. You're going to need money because you're going to supply bigger orders. You're going to need to be organized because corporate is organized and they have values. So you'll need to have all your documents ready. And the certification process ensures that, number one, you have the education that gives you the competence to have a strong pitch, to have a strong capability statement, but most importantly, to understand that your business model and your financial model is a good fit for the kind of organizations that you want to go after. And that's not enough. If you feel that I'm not ready, we are a community. There are other women in the community that you can learn from, you can partner with, and you can source for bigger orders together. Of course, it's a process. So before you partner, you get to know one another, you get to trust each other before you do work together. But it's all about having an ecosystem where we have the resources and the stakeholders that can support you to thrive. Thank you, Jessica.
Yeah, and I just want to piggyback on that. That is so important. I know a lot of times organizations really, really, really want to do business with corporations. They are like, this will be my foot in the door. I can make true progress happen if I'm just able to work with a large corporation. However, what I've been able to find in my couple of years working in this space is that truly working with each other first is your first real step in the game. There are opportunities with mid-size to large size WBEs that can give you that expertise before you come to work with an organization like this. If you are close to having all of those things in place that Frida mentioned and you're missing one or two things, by working with another Weebie, you'll be able to have not only an instant mentor because your success is their success, but in addition to that, they can help you with cultivating boards, with making sure that you have the right network, making sure that your leadership team is accessible and available and qualified to do the necessary roles before you're allowed an opportunity to pitch to a corporation the size of an organization like UPS. What I will also say to piggyback on Frida shared is that the network is vast. By joining something like WeConnect or one of the other partner agencies that I mentioned before, those are the door openers for you. When I'm looking for a supplier, this is the first place I come. I'm not going to go and Google and try to figure out and search and not really have a basis, a foundation of whether or not you can actually do business with an organization like ours. I'm just going to call Frida and say, hey, I'm looking for X, Y, and Z. Do you have a supplier? And by being a part of a network like WeConnect, that will allow you the opportunity to be a part of that conversation. When you get to know her, you get to know a lot of other corporate partners like myself. We're one of many that are part of the WeConnect network. And that being a part of something of this nature not only will help you develop as an organization and professionally, but it'll also help you personally. There are so many friendships that I've heard about and have even experienced through my time in supplier diversity that I'm just amazed by. And so by being a part of a network like this, it not only opens doors for you personally and professionally, but just think about all of the growth and change that you can impact with your organization should you consider joining.
Thank you. That was so enlightening. Before we move on to the next question, because you're not done with me, I want to just say a quick hello to the ladies that are engaging in our chat, while I encourage the other ones to share your questions. Please ask your questions, clear everything you have doubts about, because this is why Frida and Melissa are here. So I want to say hello to Gloria, Tari, Stephanie, Gloria, Yemi, Cleopatra, Zindaba, thank you so much for engaging. Thank you so much for sharing about your business. I would encourage you to post a bit about yourself in terms of what's your network, where can people find you, do you have a link? Thank you so much for being so engaging in this session. With that being said, I have one last burning question for both of you. I'll start with Frida. Frida, what are some of the common challenges? What are some of the common challenges that women-owned businesses face when it comes to procurement, and how is WeConnect International addressing those challenges?
One of the most common challenges I've observed, Jessica, is biases and just mindset. And biases, sometimes women feeling that I can't do it because I'm a woman, I need to know somebody, my business is still small, and all businesses start small. I always tell women, all businesses start small. I'm sure even UPS started small. I was in their office in Atlanta and I saw one of the first trucks that they used in those days. So the idea is you need to have a vision of where you're going to go. You need to get the confidence of what you can do by understanding what is the value that you're bringing to the table. Every value is valuable. And you start small, you start with others, you get your certification, then you start getting in through the doors. I'll give you a little story. As a business owner, I remember the first time after relocating from the US and coming back to live at home, getting my first contract with a financial institution was an uphill task. It took me 2 years to ensure that I was formal, to ensure that I had done my market research to understand what did the organization need from me as a leadership consultant. I had to go to some of their meetings when they were meeting with the small and medium enterprises so that I could bring in a touch and a flavor that was different from what the others were doing. And I remember when I went for my evaluation and I got in, I was surprised to find out that I was the first woman to be a training consultant in that company. Because I wasn't going in wondering, I'm a woman, will they like me? I never wake up thinking I'm a woman. I just wake up knowing I'm a human being that is going to solve problems, and the highest bidder is going to pay me. So one of the things, some of the problems that some of the challenges that I've noticed is just bias and paradigm, and then also access to capital. Access to capital is a real one, especially because in our traditional financing, financial institutions tend to want collateral, and women normally don't own the kind of collateral that banks need. But the good news is today, you can have small groups doing table banking, and you can access the capital that you need. And WeConnect has different partners that have non-traditional style of access to capital that can help you when you join our network. So another thing is access to networks. That should be an old tale by now. Considering all the organizations that Melissa has mentioned, considering WeConnect. WeConnect is an ecosystem. We work with other organizations that have women-owned businesses. Then you network, you grow, and you thrive. So the other thing that I've noticed is women tend to fear numbers. Women tend to fear numbers, so they're like, I don't want to do that numbers thing, but I like the money. So I'm like that. I don't like the numbers, but I like the money. So find someone to help you. There are organizations that can support you with mentorship. There are organizations that have pool of technical experts that you can tap into, and WeConnect has access to those kinds of organizations. So as a woman, you don't need to walk alone. You don't need to know everything, but you need to know what is your strength and build your confidence around that strength, and surround yourself with people who are strong in the areas that you are weak, and you're going to excel and get rid of that challenge. Back to you, Jessica.
Oh, Jessica, you're on mute. You're on mute, Jessica. But I will piggyback just a little bit on Frida. So it's so funny. My response was immediately to that question, know your numbers. So I'm so glad that you said that. One of the things that I find in my space is that most often, it's hard to get hard numbers from women-owned businesses. And, it's just one of the things that we see in the industry. You have to know your numbers. I'm going to ask you off the bat, what's your revenue? What was your revenue last year? What was your revenue for the last 5 years? If you tell me you've been in business for 20 years, I have sort of expectations around what growth looks like for you with that. So know your numbers, know the number of employees that you have, both that are internal to your organization or that you contract or consult with. So you may say, I have 5 that are on my staff full time, but I have a network of over 100 consultants that I work with. Or I have, it's me and my husband, and we're making this magic happen by ourselves, but we work with a large distribution network. So that allows the corporate to know that, hey, they actually know the inner workings of their business. Some other numbers that you need to know in addition to your revenue and your employees is know your expenses, just in general. You should know that, especially when you're looking for funding. Everybody wants to know, do you know how to manage a P&L? Do you know how to look at your profits and look at your losses and say, this is what I'm making. This is what it costs me to do business. This is what it costs me to move a package or produce a service or render an offering. You have to know your numbers. So that's one of the first things that I thought of. And I'm so glad that you said it. Don't be afraid of them. Just keep them in the back of your mind. But sometimes, you may want to wake up in the morning and create a little song or something of that nature.
Yes.
You're just repeating those things to yourself on a regular basis because you're going to be asked that information whenever you're engaging with an organization. So those are the 3 I definitely would know off the top of my head. How many employees you have, what's your revenue, and what's your expenses look like. The other thing that I would piggyback to that is also when you're approaching any company, large, small, medium size, whatever, the biggest thing that we're looking for is somebody to help us solve problems. A lot of people want to tell me what they do, and it's always great. I'm so grateful to hear what people are doing. Sometimes I get some innovative thoughts from people sharing what it is that they're working on. But the best way for you to truly engage with a corporation is to help them solve a problem. One of the most unique emails that I have ever received was, A gentleman sent me, they were veteran owned. So in the US, we also count veteran owned. They were a veteran owned company. And he sent me an article that was published about a problem that we were having in Kentucky. It's where our air fleet is. And he said, you know, I saw this article and I really think that I can help you all solve this problem. Give me a call. I literally stopped what I was doing, called him, asked him a little bit more about his business, and pitched the concept to the category manager. That's the way in which business transpires. Can you help me solve a problem and I'll pay you for it? That's how business works. If you're not helping me solve problems, then you're just another piece of the functioning and an expense in our, you're not really an asset. So when we're looking at ways in which we want to grow our organizations, become known as a problem solver. Make sure that you are the one that are getting things done. You're offering solutions, you're offering services that people need. The other thing that I always tell people is remember that you are always a customer of any business. So you may not be a customer today. We do want you to come and join us. I know our presence isn't that vast in Africa, but we are definitely working on that. So we want you to be a customer as well. But remember that in any interaction, you are a customer as well. So you know our problems. I refer to most of our suppliers as you're our front line of defense. So if something isn't going right for you and you have a problem solve, that's the best thing to come to me with. You can come to me and say, guess what? I was in one of your UPS stores, or I was working with one of your drivers, or I saw a plane taking off and I realized I had this thought. This is one of the ways in which I want to help you all do business better. And anytime a supplier comes to a company of any size saying, I have a solution for you, I guarantee you'll get a call back.
Maybe. I feel like we just went through a whole lesson and a whole training right here.
We try.
That was awesome because those are three critical things. Know your numbers, connect, network, and be always sure of what you're doing and how can you help someone solve a problem. So with that being said, I feel like you answered the last question I had for you. For now, I'll come up with something else. I will now ask our market lead for South Africa, my dear colleague Brenda Malloy, to come up with our little surprise for all of our guests. What do we have in store for all of you? You're not just here to talk, you're here to get something. Brenda, the mic is yours.
Thank you very much, Jessica, and good evening to all the women-owned businesses in the room. Welcome all of you owners. Thank you for investing the time with us today. As Jessica has just mentioned, this really has felt for me like a training session, a crash course, the nuggets that have been dropped in the last few minutes about what is possible in you applying for an opportunity to sit in rooms with leaders of UPS, to sit in the room with We Connect. This is really why we're here. Speaking to supplier development, speaking to supplier diversity. We really want you to be empowered as business leaders. It is very rare that you're in a room with your peers asking questions, having the opportunity to be mentored by one of our member buyers within our network. Please excuse me for just 1 second. Thank you. Jessica, as you have it here, thank you very much to everybody who has spoken this today, and really the opportunities for each of the women-owned businesses here. 15 of them will be taken through a process where we are investing further in you, a process that will allow you to gain insights in procurement and the thinking that goes behind these organizations giving you these opportunities within We Connect and UPS. What we will be doing over the next couple of weeks in a series of programs, we will be breaking down exactly what we've spoken to today. Understanding procurement readiness. What does that mean? I think we have broken down some of the titles and some of the subtitles that we'll be covering on how you can position your business correctly, more favorably, to be more competitive. We'll be discussing building a strong foundation for procurement success. We'll be breaking down and unpacking how you can navigate the procurement landscapes and really how it is that you can empower your business to do even better. The benefits of which really are countless: accessing new markets, improved efficiency, enhanced supplier relationship between yourselves and UPS when you get the opportunity, and compliance and risk management. How is it that you can buffer your business for those hard times, especially when you now have opportunities to scale up? So here's what we're talking about. Modules to empower your business every Tuesday will be discussed here in the We Connect International Africa Dialogues from the 7th of May until the 28th of May. We'll be discussing and positioning you to meet the buyer at the roundtable on the 30th of July. Our applications open now in April, and you will be receiving further information on that.
Thank you, Brenda. I feel like someone has their mic on, and it would be good if it's not Brenda.
Apologies, Jess,
It would
can
be
you hear
good
me
to-
clearly?
I can hear you clearly. I just think someone turned on their mics and it was interfering. But yes,
Right.
thank you, Brenda.
Thank you very much. I think really what
Michelle?
I must highlight is the oh, you can go ahead, Jess.
No. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you. What I must highlight is what we've touched on today, speaking to how these business owners and these women, these women-owned businesses can position themselves to speak to mentors in the marketing space. It's very rare that you're a jack of all trades. The saying goes, jack of all trades and a master of none. Well, what we'd like to do is help you and understand the other parts of your business that you may not yet have personnel in, but you really want to guide your strategy and speak to how it is your business will be seen and what that perception of your business will be when you are out there. So here we're giving you an opportunity to meet and connect directly with UPS leaders in the marketing space, in the sales environment. How are you doing your accounting and how is your business compliant? And then something we all, I struggle with, that tech conversation within the business. Who can you speak to that can assist you with tech? Who's willing to give you that time to break down and help you understand how your business could be scaled up just by looking at changing or enhancing what it is that you do in the technology space. So really what I'm saying is this is a fantastic opportunity for you to invest in your business and to invest in yourself, because UPS is happy to take you along that journey and will even pay for 15 women-owned businesses to become certified within the We Connect network. I think it was discussed today how our member buyers are from very many sectors. And once you have received or achieved your certification within the We Connect community, well, then you are really well positioned to do business, not only locally here in South Africa, but let's see what opportunities come up through the certification globally. Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you, Brenda. And just to add on that, we have applications open as of today. The link should be on the chat, so you can apply for this empowering program. I know that you guys are trying to understand a bit more about it, so please just try and apply. Will happen every Tuesday from the 7th of May up until the 28th of May, which ends with our Meet the Buyer roundtable in July. But if you want to be a part of this Tuesdays, special Tuesdays, I'll call them, with UPS, you have to sign up, you have to register, you make sure your business is there. If you're questioning, do I apply? You shouldn't be questioning. You're already here, you already made the effort, so might as well subscribe and make sure that you are there. Be in the room, okay? So with that being said, I would like to know if we have any questions to take on from the audience, because we only have a couple of minutes left. So if we have any questions from the audience, Brenda and Michelle, do we have anything to answer? Our speakers are very much willing.
Hello.
Oh, hello, Whisper.
I'm Risa from Kenya. Pleasure to be here, especially seeing Frida. Frida inspires me. I know she doesn't know me, but I've been into a lot of her programs. So my question is, I've actually just filled in the Tuesday meetings, but I've seen the specifications on South Africa and Nigeria, though I feel on the part of others. So does it mean you have to wait for other opportunities that come later, or can I still have an opportunity to join the Tuesday meetings? Thank you.
Thank you, Whisper. I'll leave that question to Frida, but before we answer, let's take
Your favorite
Ayanda's question as well.
Thank you so much,
Ayanda.
Rispa, for joining us. And say that the program is going to be opened in South Africa and Nigeria. And I'm so happy you're here. So UPS has seen that Kenya is also interested. So who knows, after South Africa and Nigeria, they may come to Kenya. But not to worry, we have a lot of programs. Even tomorrow, we do have a Meet the Buyer at the Capital Club. If you send me a WhatsApp, I'll send you the flyer and you can join us. You just need to pay for your ticket tonight. So Michelle is going to put my number in the chat. And in Nairobi, we have a Meet the Buyer tomorrow at 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. So don't worry, Nairobi, there are other good things coming for you. As a community, this is a special program by UPS where we are looking to certify 30 women-owned businesses. UPS is in those countries and is looking to expand in other areas, and they will keep us posted on that. Thank you very much, Rispa, for your question.
All right, thank you. I'll text you.
Ayanda has a question. Ayanda, you have your hand raised. You can go ahead and ask your question. Or did she click on the hand by mistake?
Okay.
All righty.
I think clicked by mistake. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Thank you so much for the invite. So I am based out of South Africa, and I've been a certified Weebie since 2016. So I'd just like to share, this is an amazing network. It's connected me to a lot of companies, a lot of corporates, and companies grown globally. But what I would like to ask is, when are we going to have more events in South Africa?
All right. That is a really good question. And I'm so happy that our market lead is in the house. Brenda has just joined us, but she has a lot of things planned for you. I'll allow her to share it with you. Brenda?
Hello, Ayanda. It's lovely to meet you. I cannot wait to meet you in person. I think we are the new faces that you are seeing representing the African continent. And yes, as Frida has mentioned, there will be opportunities here in South Africa to meet with our member buyers, also for We Connect International Africa Dialogues, for you to come into those rooms and those spaces over the next couple of months. We're looking to speak to different sectors, to empower you in different subjects, different topics as we've spoken to today. I mentioned earlier that really as business owners, it's often that we are not jacks of all trade, and really just to empower you in different places. Ayanda, there is a calendar that we're going to be sharing. We're going to be asking questions and for your feedback over the next couple of months and weeks. And I know you and I will be meeting more. There's a lot planned on our calendar, and I look forward to hearing from you in person.
Awesome. Thanks, Brenda. Thanks, everyone, for this platform. And thanks, Melissa.
Thank you. Thank you, Ayanda. Thank you so much. I will answer this question from Jessica Okoli really quick. Jessica is in the US for 2 weeks, and she wants to know if there's a program in the US during this short time. Jessica, I would advise you to go to our website, and we have We Connect Academy, where you can find all of our programs and everything that is happening, even in the US, since you're there. So please feel free to log into our website and make sure you find the right program for you. Thank you so much. We're taking
if
one.
you're in Atlanta, feel free to reach out to us if you're close or nearby, or tell us where you are and figure out if we can connect you with someone that's closer to where you are while you're in the state. We're happy to have you here.
Yes, that is amazing. We're taking one more question before we have to wrap up, and last considerations. I don't see any hands. Ladies?
Sorry, my hand is up. Apologies for that. It's Melissa from South Africa. Good evening, everybody. Brenda, welcome. We're looking forward to meeting you. Great to have representation in South Africa space. I think my question was specific to the 15 entrepreneurs that you went into earmark. So my understanding is specifically South Africa and Nigeria. Is it a 50-50 split? specifically to category, or are you just ideally looking for 15 across different sectors and across the South African, Nigeria continent?
Melissa, would you like to take that?
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
And the randomness.
Yeah.
Thank
Well,
you.
no, great question, because I want to make sure we clarify. We are looking for a total of 30. So there are 15 from South Africa. And then I was about to say Kenya. As I know I need to answer Kenya.
Please say Kenya.
And the goal of the program is to ensure that we prepare you all as businesses to get certified. So the goal of this is to have 30 certified women-owned business. Frida talked about what it means to be women-owned. So take you through the process to make sure that you have all the necessary paperwork, that you have completed all of the necessary certification articles. Make sure that you have the right team and that you're ready and you're within the network. And at the end of the program, these 30 businesses will be certified by We Connect International with the funding that has been provided by UPS. So those that are selected to be a part of the program and come through the program will be very, very, very lucky, because they will be welcomed into this wonderful network of We Connect International at no cost to them. What the selection criteria is we're still working out all of the details for that. And it's not going to be just one specific industry. So I don't want people to think that that's the case. We are open to industry. We just want to make sure that they are businesses that are ready to do business with corporations and can get certified through Connect. I hope that answers the question.
Yes, it does. Thank you for the clarification.
Thank you, Ayanda. Thank you, Melissa. We have 3 more hands up. If you guys manage to keep it brief, we can go through them. Letabo, you're up.
Hear you.
Your mic is on.
Okay.
You want to go over to Bernice while we wait?
We can go over to
Good
Bernice.
evening, ladies.
Oh,
I'm
hello.
so excited for this privilege and opportunity. Thank you so much for this organizing this for us. I'm in South Africa and I want to know exactly where your office is. I am working and trying to establish my own business. So I have a lot of questions in the bag that I need to sit down and analyze. So I want to know exactly where you are at South Africa, because I stay in Centurion.
So I am actually based in the United States.
That's beautiful.
But we do have a presence, I know, in South Africa.
Yes.
I'm going to
we have
I'm
Bessie on the call.
going to pass this off to Bessie. I know he's on the call, I'm hoping. But let me find the actual location for our office there. But if you have questions, and I think, Jessica, you have my QR code, you can definitely email me. So if you scan the QR code, it's going to ask you for your name and your email address, and then it's going to send you an email from me with additional information.
All right.
And
Thank you
we
so
can
much.
definitely connect after this call to make sure that I get you the information that you are in need of. But congratulations on starting your business. That's amazing.
Thank you, Melissa. Letabo says, the mic is on, but I wanted to find out if I'm based in Zimbabwe, but South African. Do I qualify? And I think my network is bad. Does she qualify to participate in the program? That's what I'm understanding. Frida or Brenda? She's in Zimbabwe, but she's South African. Does she qualify?
She needs to be
Absolutely.
in South Africa. Is she in South Africa, Brenda? She needs to be in South
No,
Africa.
my understanding is that she's in Zimbabwe. So, Letabo,
Okay.
thank you very much for your question. Yes, it's a great question, because We Connect has a network in 135 countries. And what that really means comes down to our certification and certifying your business. Through this process, in my humble opinion, yes, your business would have to be registered in South Africa, only because should we then be able to graduate you through the certification process, one of those elements that we we'd need to comply with is certification. Unfortunately, we don't at present have a certification authority in Zimbabwe, or we don't have a certification team in Zimbabwe. You would need to have a business registered here in South Africa in order for that certification to be managed by the South Africa team where we are present. However, Letabo, we are constantly looking to grow our network, and should it come that there are more sisters with businesses in Zimbabwe and enough to make the case for our head office, of course, we'd love to have a certification team sitting in Zimbabwe to assist all of our sisters in Zimbabwe.
Amazing. Thank you, Brenda. Jessica Okoli, do you have a question or are you raising your hand by mistake?
Okay,
Jessica?
sorry,
Yeah.
my name is Jessica. Nadia. Okay, I stay in Nigeria, but I'm presently in US on vacation. So, I wanted to know where the office is in the US to know if it's closer to me. Then secondly, when I was going through the form, I happened to be in like two sectors. I train, I'm an SME coach and also train women, and also, guide women and work with men in the rural community. And I also process and package spices, which is manufacturing. So I was kind of, okay, which one should I put in? Although I've put in fruit processing, I hope that works.
Thank you, Jessica. I think Frida, you can take that question Melissa, sorry.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much, Jessica, for your question. What we often ask women to do, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, you need to understand who is the person who will buy your products first. And once you understand who is the person who will buy your products, you can go to our website. We have over 200 companies around the world. So you say you're doing food processing, you're doing food processing and you're doing herbs. Did I get that correct? Spices.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
ma'am.
Right.
I'm doing spices. Actually have the samples here. Spices,
Okay.
ginger, garlic, turmeric.
All right. So I would assume that your customer is a retail store, restaurants, hospitality.
Yes.
So you want to look at our website and see, are there organizations that might be interested in what you're doing? And then you can, when you're going to certify on our portal, there are different codes that you're going to be given. So you need to you will be given a code that matches what you're selling. But most importantly, you need to do the research first. What are you selling? Who is already buying from you? Then you look for people who look like the people who are buying from you on our portal, and then it makes it an easier match. I hope that helps.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you, Jessica. Back to Jessica, we connect.
Back to you, Jessica. Thank you so much, guys. We are running out of time, but I would like our speakers to leave their closing remarks with us. What are your last words for encouragement for these women in the room? Please let us know. I will start with Melissa.
Okay, thank you so much. This has been such an insightful and enlightening day. I thank you all for sharing your time with us this evening. So my last words that I probably share with the group center around community. At UPS, we are focused on ensuring that we are a part of each and every community that we serve. And by being a woman business owner, that is your focus as well. I ask that you all continue to press forward. I know that the entrepreneurial road is not easy. It is truly a journey and sometimes a marathon. But I encourage you all to remain positive. Even if you are not selected to be a part of one of the programs that we are offering, still connect with WeConnect. The opportunities there abound and they are vast. I encourage you to remain in contact with each other. A lot of people listed their LinkedIns, their Instagrams. Please, please, please connect with each other. You never know what partnership will look like. And usually it starts with us working together. I encourage you all to remain positive, continue to have an amazing and blessed evening, and I wish you all continued success. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much, Melissa. Frida?
Amazing. Thank you so much, Melissa. Thank you, UPS. Thank you to all the women-owned businesses that have showed up. Thank you for the Africa team for the great work you're doing and your support. And mine is to say, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Number two, remember that you're a women-owned business and you matter. You are solving a problem. You are contributing value. No matter how small it is, you matter. Every morning you're waking up to do something that is going to help someone else, another organization, to support your family. We are proud of you. We love you. We are here to support you, and we look forward to seeing you in class. Remember, the class is for South Africa and Nigeria, but We Community is open for everyone. The first step is to register on the We Community. Once you register on the We Community and apply, when you apply, the people that are going to get preferential treatment, of course, are people who are already on We Community. The advantage of being in We Community, you're going to meet other people in your country, you're going to meet other people in Africa and beyond. So take the first step today. Don't be left behind. And we do look forward to seeing you at the UPS procurement series with UPS. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much to our speakers. Frida, thank you. Melissa, thank you for making the time, for sharing your expertise. To all of our guests, to all of our participants, please make sure you follow us on social media, especially on LinkedIn, where you should put your business up there. At Reconnect International in Africa, follow us and be a part of all the great initiatives we have for you. This is one of the programs we have, and please register for it. But we have so much more ready for you. So please register and follow us, and we're ready to be with you. My name is Jessica Manyisa, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a fantastic evening or afternoon, whatever time of the day it is. We will send you the recording. And actually, we should stop recording. We'll send you the recording so that you can have it. Remember to register, look out for your country lead, and connect with them. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate
Thank
today.
you.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. As they leave, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
18, we can
Thank
leave and
you.
join back in. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Let's see. Okay. Have a good evening. Hi, Lucia. I see you there. It's nice to see familiar names. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay.
Human. How about
Okay.
human?
You can email me and I'll give you your Nigeria lead. Michelle, help me pick that number. Actually, I got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. I got it. And let me, wow. Let me stick it somewhere. Thank you very much for joining. You may leave the room. The webinar has ended. We'll see you in class if you register. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Right, and then bye-bye. Okay, almost there.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Bernice.
Bye.
Have a good evening. Bye-bye.
You too.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jessica. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay.